Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. So as expected, Chelsea and Liverpool draw once again. But having said that, I think it was a much better game than what we encountered last season. I guess that wasn't a very difficult task. What we'll do today, we'll go through the match highlights. We'll also do a player ratings for Liverpool. This season, all my match reaction shows will contain a link in the description to give the viewers the opportunity to come on the show and make an appearance. So if you'd like to join the show today, hit the link in the description and have your say on this game. So let's get into it. So Chelsea, Liverpool, first half, well, let's say before the game when the lineup came up for Liverpool, interesting formation to say the least. Diaz, Jota, Salah and Gakpo starting, which was quite a surprise. Adventurous lineup to say the least, with Gakpo playing as a number 8, which we haven't seen him do that much for Liverpool. This encounter was definitely expected to be a fiery one with all of the latest transfer saga surrounding Moises Caicedo. But less about that today, the better, as we can always talk about transfers another time. So let's get into it. So first half, it was a fantastic start for Liverpool as we scored the opening goal. Lovely pass by Salah through to Diaz, and he slots the ball calmly in the back of the net. Chelsea get the equaliser with the new signing, Disasi, I think his name is. Hopefully I haven't butchered his name. It's got a fantastic header from a corner. Poor defending from Liverpool, in my opinion, as Disasi was in acres of space and on his own. So easy finish for him to implement. Chelsea almost made it 2-1 as their new signing, Nico Jackson, had a shot in the middle of the box. Unfortunately, he hits the ball over the bar. Big chance for Chelsea before the halftime whistle. Second half, Liverpool started on the front foot. Van Dijk had a chance from the left-hand side of the box, which was just over the bar. Not many clear-cut chances, I would say, in the opening 15 minutes of the second half. Then Liverpool introduced Curtis Jones and Nunes for Jota and Gakpo. Nunes definitely made an impression in the game. 71st minute, it could have gone pear-shaped for Liverpool as Trent's sloppy in possession. That allows Nico Jackson to go through on goal on the left-hand side. Shot was saved by Alisson, but it was good pressure from Konate to make sure he didn't have a clear-cut finish there. Moments later, Elliott and Ben Doak came on for Salah and Diaz. Salah was not happy about being substituted, and for me, understandably, as he was, I would say, great in the first half, a bit quiet in the second half. But at that stage, I feel like he's not really the one you should have substituted, in my opinion. I know Ben Doak has done really well in pre-season, but it's Mo Salah. I feel like had he been given another 10 minutes, he may have, got the end of one of our chances, but who knows? Liverpool have a chance as McAllister gets a loose ball. It was an error from the goalkeeper, Sanchez. Hits the ball towards Nunes, but unfortunately, Nunes was unable to control it. McAllister, for me, should have done a better pass there, as that kind of pass was a bit more of a difficult one for Nunes to bring down and shoot. Had it been on the ground, it would have been a more easy chance for Nunes to convert. Moments later, Nunes goes on an amazing run, hits the ball from long distance. This was around the 92nd minute, just dips over the bar, deflected for a corner, and then you're thinking, Liverpool's got a chance there. But Chelsea hit Liverpool on the counter-attack straight after that corner. Mudryk goes through on goal, tries to go around Alisson, but he hits it too far ahead of him, and at that stage, the chance was gone. So the match ends as a draw, as expected by most of us. I would have to say it's a fair result. Liverpool were better in the first half. I feel like Chelsea never looked troubled throughout the game. They were in more control, I'd say, in the second half. Liverpool showed good flashes throughout the game, but defensively still look a bit shaky, in my opinion. And that's why reinforcements are needed for Liverpool in order to have a successful season. Just got a comment here from Brush. Hit the like, folks. Thank you, Brush, for your support as always. So yeah, speaking of reinforcements, obviously the rumor is regarding Caicedo going to Chelsea. They still haven't placed a bid, so God knows what's happening with that one. I've also just seen a rumor before I logged on that we are trying to have talks with Lavia again. So seems like a merry-go-round with these two players. But let's see how it goes. I think the more concrete news we get, the clearer the picture will be for us fans, as a lot of us are very impatient. And it makes sense. We've been making record bids, and they've been getting declined by the player, which was quite bizarre. As I feel like if you're going to make such a big bid, at least make sure the player's interested. But we'll talk about transfers another day. So before we conclude the show, we can do the player rating. So what I'll do is I'll share some graphics with you guys, and we can go from there. So here it is. So let's go with Alisson. So for me, Alisson had a very solid game. Never looked trouble at all for me. Made a couple of decent saves as well. So I'll give him a 9. As always, very reliable between the sticks. Robertson, for me, had a very shaky game, to say the least. I wouldn't like to completely blame on him, as I feel like Diaz, unfortunately, as talented as he is, I wouldn't regard him as a team player. I feel like he doesn't track back to help Robertson. That was always one of my criticisms of Diaz from last season, where I don't feel like he has a good sort of chemistry with Robertson. Seems to stay out wide, but doesn't really like to track back either. So that's an area that needs to be improved, especially if Diaz would like to stay in the team in the long term, as he's got players like Jota, who is fighting for a place in the starting lineup as well. In terms of today's performance, I think he had a very shaky first half, made slight improvements in the second half. So with that said, I'm going to give him 6 out of 10. Van Dijk for me was very, very good today. I'm not going to say he's like the old Van Dijk, because don't want to say those kind of statements right now, but I feel like maybe because of the captaincy, he's taken more responsibility and is trying to lead by example. So with that added responsibility, I feel like it will up his game this season. So really looking forward to seeing how he does this season. He was spectacular. Made some great aerial challenges. Nico Jackson, welcome to the Premier League. He couldn't really get past Van Dijk today. So with that, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 as well. Next player is Konate. Konate for me was pretty solid today, to be fair. Didn't really make that many mistakes, but I just feel like Van Dijk was the superior centre-back today. So that's it. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So we all know he wants to play as a midfielder for the long term, but I feel like with Klopp, there might be times where he won't be playing in that kind of position. It'll be more sometimes right back, sometimes inverted full back, depending on the opposition, I would say. So yeah, it's one I feel like he wants to make a stake in a claim and say that he is a midfielder now, which I've said strongly. I do believe he is a midfielder. He has the traits. Whenever he's played in the middle of the park, he looks happy. He looks comfortable there. But in terms of today's performance, I think playing as a right back, more or less, I think he was fantastic defensively. In terms of his more attacking threat, I don't think he was that good today. I feel like he lacked accuracy in his passing, and just didn't see like his normal self in terms of variation of passing on the pitch. So surprisingly, defensively, he was very, very good today. So in terms of his overall ranking, I will give him a 7 out of 10. Now, on to midfield. So I've got Gakpo listed here as the next one, so we're going to speak about him. I wasn't impressed with him playing as a number 8. That's not his role. Naturally, he's an attacker. He's a left winger by trade, especially from his days at PSV. At Liverpool, he's been transformed into a false 9. So he's better in the front end as a attacker. As a number 8, especially playing in a more traditional midfield 3, it doesn't work, unfortunately. He looked a bit lost playing that role. Attacking wise, he probably looked decent on the ball, but as a midfielder, your responsibility is to also help the team and track back and be responsible for your defensive play. And that's probably why Robertson was exposed and was isolated a lot of the times, because he didn't have the likes of Diaz or Gakpo tracking back and helping him. So yeah, for me, if he is to play in a deeper role, in a midfield role, I'd say it's not as a number 8 in a midfield 3. It would be the 3-2-2-3 formation that we played last season, where he's more of an advanced 8 alongside a player like Szoboszlai. As a number 8, I don't feel like he has the capability. Plus, he hasn't played that role, I don't think, ever in his career. So unfortunately, with that said, he doesn't get a high ranking for me. So he will get a 6 out of 10. McAllister played pretty much as a number 6 for us today. We know he's capable of doing that, as that is the position he played for Brighton, more as a double pivot alongside so-called Caicedo. But I was very impressed in terms of how he played. He showed great defensive awareness, made some good tackles, great passing ability on the ball. I feel like he was really hardworking. You can just see the energy levels different to the midfielders that we had last season with the likes of Fabinho and Henderson. He's just a breath of fresh air right now. And it looks like he's played for Liverpool for years and years. So it's great to see him getting used to how we are playing. And I'm really excited to see how he progresses this season. I feel like we definitely, well, it's quite obvious, we need a defensive midfielder. I'd probably say we need 2, as I would like McAllister to play more as an advanced 8 rather than the role that he played today. Not to say he's not capable of doing that role, but I do feel like we're wasting his talent playing in a number 6. He's limited in terms of his play. When he's playing further up, he's able to influence the game a lot more. And I feel like one of his key traits is threading final balls to the attackers. So that's something we probably lack today, in my opinion. So once we have a number 6 or 2, McAllister will be deployed further up. So hopefully we can get a deal done for someone in the near future. But for today, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. It was fantastic. So Szoboszlai, if you watch my previous shows, you know that I am a big fan of him. I feel like he showed a good account of himself, to be fair. A fantastic player. I do feel like he had a better first half. Second half, he went a bit missing, but he showed, I think, good pedigree in terms of his attacking play. Definitely more to come. With that being said, I will give him an 8 out of 10. Luis Diaz, so our goal scorer today. So for me, he had good moments. I feel like he wasn't as involved in the game as I would have liked him to be. That's one area I feel like he does go missing in games. But we saw his attacking credentials today with his finish. So looking forward to him. He's had a good pre-season, so hopefully he has more game time. Hopefully he stays fit as well. So with that said, I will give him a ranking of, let's see, what should I give him? I'll give him an 8 on the basis that he scored our goal, I would have given him a 7. I feel like he was on a level par of Szoboszlai, but we'll put him there for now. Diogo Jota for me was quiet. I feel like he had such a great preseason. I was expecting big things from him today. I feel like maybe he's more suited playing on the left. I feel like he's more effective in the game and just went a bit missing today. So with that being said, I'll probably place him with a 6 ranking there. And the final player, Mohamed Salah, who obviously provided assist for the first goal, had decent moments, especially for the first half. But in the second half, I feel like he went missing. Obviously, you saw his reaction about getting substituted there. He was not happy, to say the least. But, it is what it is. I know he's a senior player, but you have to take it on the chin as well. It's a squad game now. We brought on Ben Doak, who's been fantastic in preseason. So I feel like this was the time for him to, play the youngster. He deserves a little run in the game. I feel like he'll be a good asset for us in the season. But in terms of Mo Salah, I think he was more concerned about scoring a goal today, as he's normally, I think he's got a good record of scoring opening goals of the season. But wasn't to be. Long season ahead, so no shame in not scoring today. In terms of his ranking, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. So what I'll do also is remove some of the players that were substituted, so the likes of Diaz, Jota, Salah, and Gakpo. So we can start off with Nunes as the first player that came on. So for me, it actually looked really good. I was quite impressed with how he played, to be honest with you. Normally his first touch is quite questionable, but I feel like today he showed that's an area he's improved on, which is good. Good passing rate, did a couple 1-2s with Harvey Elliott. So excited to see how he does. On Twitter, everyone's getting excited because he's able to speak English now. So yeah, hopefully that plays a role in him having a successful season. But I like the impact that he showed today. If he continues making that kind of progression, I feel like he will get a lot of starts this year. So with that said, I'll give him a 7 out of 10 today. Another player was Jones that came on. Curtis Jones. He was quite quiet for me today. I feel like normally he's more adventurous in his play, maybe because he felt like he had to play more of a deeper role or more of a conserved role to try and have a more compact midfield. So I thought he was quite quiet today. So I wasn't as impressed with him as I normally am. With that said, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. The player that impressed me when he came on was actually Harvey Elliott. He didn't play left wing, but I'll just place him there for now. Yeah, he looked really good. He looked full of energy, as he has been, to be fair, in pre-season. And I do feel like maybe because he hasn't started many games, he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder where he wants to prove a point to the manager. But we've got a long season ahead. We're playing the Europa League, playing all sorts of qualifiers. So he will get a lot of game time this season. I feel like he's better playing in a more advanced 8 role. So when we play a 3-2-2-3, I feel like that is his sort of natural position as a 10, just behind the attackers. On the right wing, I feel like he doesn't have that acceleration, especially the first 5 yards, to beat a player. But he's looking energetic. He looks like he actually got a bit of speed on him now. So who knows? He can probably deputize for Salah at times this season as well. So today, very impressed with his performance. I feel like he's probably one of the better impactful players from the bench. So I'll give him an 8. And the final player was Ben Doak. For me, he didn't have too much time to really make an impression. I feel like he did decent when he came on. Excited to see how he does this season. He'll be used more in the Europa League, in my opinion. He will make appearances in the Premier League. But yeah, if you haven't seen him, just remember the name. It looks like he's got a big future ahead of him. Liverpool fans are very excited about him. Already making comparisons to other greats. I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but he does have a great future ahead of him. So for today, I'll give him a 6. I don't think he had much of an impact. Yeah, that's my ranking for today. So let me know in the comments what you think. Am I being harsh or too nice with certain ratings of players? Drop a comment and let me know. It's got a couple comments here from Double D. His open day streak is over, and that's why. Yeah, I assumed that was the reason why he was a bit annoyed at himself. But it's a team game. It is what it is. And another comment: he still gave everyone a high five bar Klopp. I think Klopp blanked him as well. To be fair, Klopp didn't want to give him a high five himself. He knew he was frustrated. But yeah, I think you don't like seeing things like that, but at the same time, you don't want someone being substituted. But for the reasoning, I don't think that was a good reason for him to showcase his sort of frustration, especially when you know the player that's coming on is a young boy, probably someone that looks up to him. So yeah, that's something to look out for, I would guess, for him to make sure he doesn't express himself too much in the future. So before we conclude, we've got someone that would like to come on the show. We've got Musa, who'd like to come on.
Yeah, man.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad.
Let me
Awesome
know.
match.
What did you think of today's game?
Alright, Chelsea, I think, did very well for Poch. I think for a new era, with DRC, new signings as well. I think they started off very well.
Yeah,
Like DRC with the goal as well. And like Levi Cole, last sort of 13 minutes of the second half, did very well, I say. And then Liverpool, I kind of expect a little bit more of them. I'm a little bit disappointed in Liverpool, but like Salah, he should have done a lot better. I think
yeah,
that's why he was annoying when he got subbed off. But apart from that, it was a very good game.
yeah. No, I think Cole was actually worth a mention. I think he had a shaky first half, but you can see why he was very highly regarded, especially Liverpool. Liverpool wanted to sign him, and before he extended his contract, and he looks a good talent. I feel like long term, probably long term captain at Chelsea. He's wearing the number 26 shirt as well, which was worn by the legend John Terry. So no, he looks a very impressive player. I think he fits that system really well. In regards to
Yeah,
Liverpool, yeah, I think you're right. I think considering how we played in preseason, I was expecting a lot more from Liverpool today, but it's quite obvious to see where we're lacking in terms of numbers or quality, and that is that we don't have a destroyer in the team. We have McAllister, who is a ball-winning player, but he's more of a creative player, in my opinion. So he should be playing further up top. So yeah, it's still early in the season. In terms of predictions, who would be your? I know it's a bit early to say because obviously the window hasn't completely
yeah.
closed yet. Who would be in your top four?
All right, I'll put City, Arsenal,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Liverpool.
Okay.
I
And
think I think Chelsea will just edge you, and they're going to get Caicedo
okay.
now. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
I
now
think
Manchester United in that top four
Man U are fucking
or
drop off.
Newcastle
Now Newcastle's going to get Europa League, but
League.
yeah, I think Liverpool need, or they're not going to get Caicedo. They may not get the Southampton guy. They need a number six. Like I saw McAllister playing in the number six role, and you said, but he didn't really fit there. I mean, he made like good passes and got like the assist, I think, but he's not suited to that position. He's more central, more playmaker style.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so they
So
need
if you
someone
were
central
sporting
minded.
director, who would you think is the guy that should come into Liverpool?
Uh, um,
Put you on the
let's
spot
think
there.
of players now. Um, I don't know.
It's difficult,
Oh,
especially I think is this market's been quite weird because a lot of the CDMs that were quite highly regarded, they've moved clubs. So the
yeah,
likes of Ugarte, who was highly linked with a lot of Premier League teams, he's gone to PSG. Declan Rice has been signed to
well,
Arsenal, obviously 105 million, which is a crazy price, but
yeah,
that is the market rate as well. So there aren't that many names. I think a lot of fans were screaming out for Tchouaméni. You know, he played for Real Madrid yesterday.
yeah.
that's always been his dream move. So I don't see him leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, and something
Caicedo
like
was the only
Camavinga
one.
as well.
Exactly. Camavinga, yeah, he's a special talent. But
Yeah,
there isn't many out there, really. I think Lavia was one that is, I think obviously people always say he's young, he's 19, so maybe he's not ready to play. But I feel like if you're looking for that next big player as a CDM, I think he does kind of tick those boxes. So I was, shamefully, I was still trying to sign him, despite us like, making 4 bids and they're not really going ahead with it. Um, what do you make of the Caicedo thing? Do you actually think Chelsea will get him? Because there still hasn't been a bid placed from what I know.
yeah. I think they've agreed a deal, but it hasn't been like confirmed.
Okay.
But I think the whole thing's a bit silly. Like he's good, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
there's so many better. Like he's 19, he's young, he's playing in the Prem. That's the reason why he's so overpriced.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think there's much better players. I think what Liverpool should do is, I say, try to find someone who's young, has a lot of potential, and try and mold him
Yeah.
into like the player you want to be. Instead of try like going all in for some guy for like 110 mil. Why don't buy someone from like South America and
Yeah.
then mold him to the player you want to be?
Mm. I hear you. I think we are linked to someone from South America, a player named Andre. I think he plays for Fluminense. Um, but with those type of players, it's always a gamble. Um, if we were to sign someone like that, it wouldn't be like the only signing. I'd want Liverpool to sign 2 midfielders where he could kind of be an understudy and then work around someone else with experience. I think that's what a lot of Liverpool fans wanted. They wanted a more experienced CDM. So I think we were
Yeah.
highly linked with Polina from Fulham, who's for
Oh
me is a
yeah, yeah,
decent
yeah. I remember
player,
that.
but he's gone off injured. We were also linked to Kone from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He
Oh
went
yeah,
off
and
injured
I
for
think
France as well.
thinking someone you could buy the guy from Ligue 1, Marcus Thuram, one of the Thuram
Oh,
brothers.
Kefren Turam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should
Definitely.
try but sign him, I'd say. He's less defensive minded, but he still will
Yeah.
do the job.
That's probably the reason why we haven't gone ahead with him because we were in talks with him last month,
Yeah.
but it was basically between him or Szoboszlai. So I'm a big
Oh.
fan of Szoboszlai because he's more of an attack-minded player. He has
Hmm.
played defensively in the past, but I think naturally he's more of a box-to-box player. So for me, I'm happy that we got Szoboszlai. For me, he's a top player.
I like
Um,
him. I like
there's
him.
one name that I feel like, for me, if I had to choose someone for Liverpool, it would be Florentino Luis, who plays for Benfica. He's a young
Oh,
up-and-coming CDM, plays
yeah.
similar to how a young Fabinho used to play as well. So that would be someone that I'd like. But Benfica are very tough negotiators.
Nah.
You won't get a cheap deal with him, and
I
especially
say,
if you placed a big bid for Caicedo, they'd want the same amount of money as well.
yeah. And like they signed, like Enzo signed for Chelsea for like 80 mil. 80?
Yeah,
90? Yeah, from Benfica. So
yeah.
you gotta spend some little money on him.
Yeah,
But
we've shown our cards now, so everyone knows we've got money. Before we were known as the broke boys, where we don't like to spend money. Now everyone knows we've got money, so yeah,
yeah.
a bit
I,
frustrating to say the least. Just got a comment here from Double D. They don't want to sell Andre until Jan, as Fluminense think that they can win the Copa Libertadores, and the final would be in December. So I've actually heard that we have been in sort of negotiations with Fluminense, but possibly loaning him back and then having him come to Liverpool in January, which will kind of suit, I would guess, all parties. But Liverpool need midfielders right now, so until we don't sign at least one CDM, I still feel like we need a centre back as well. Cole would have
well,
been
for
perfect, but he had other ideas. Um, but yeah, I think centre back is another area that we need to look into. So Musa, you are a Brentford fan from what I know. So
yeah, man.
so give me your thoughts on the season. What are your
Against Tottenham.
expectations for the team?
Coming into the match, I thought we were gonna thrash them because I was having beef with my friend who's a massive Tottenham fan.
Yeah.
We started beefing each other. I thought it's either going to be a draw or we're going to destroy them. So,
Yeah.
because I thought it'd be a little bit harder with Tony, but we beat them 3-1 without Tony, so we could beat them. We could beat them easily,
Yeah.
and we're actually like we had less possession on them. They had like 70 possession. We had 30, but we had more shots on target, more shots conversion rate. We were the better team in the first half because we could hit them on the counter because we had the pace in our attack.
Yeah.
But and then the second half, I don't want to talk about that. we didn't get the ball as much, and towards the end, there were two penalty claims. One when Kevin Scheid got pushed to the ground, but the ref didn't give a penalty, and one was a handball. But yeah, but it was a 2-2. I'll take a draw. I'll take a
Yeah.
draw. I think our goalie did well, but he couldn't stop the Emerson goal. It was I didn't expect it. Nobody expected it.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Tom's goalie though. He kept coming out of the box,
Yeah.
and he got a yellow as well. So he is dodgy. He's a dodgy man.
What are your expectations in terms of finishing in the league? Do you think you're in a relegation battle because Tony isn't there until January, or do you think you have
Now,
enough in the team to mount a good sort of position in the league?
from what I saw, I say we could still challenge for top 10.
Okay.
I say because we got Tony in the second half, we could survive until then. We haven't got like bad players not from two. We have Brian and Bomo and Wisser, who are
Yeah.
both good players respectively. And if we can get wins as well with those two as our attack. Then once you get Tony back, it's gonna be absolutely beautiful. We might even beat Liverpool like we did last season.
Well, you'll have to come back on the show when Liverpool play Brentford. But Musa, thank you for coming on the show today. Hope to see you again as we'll be doing more match reactions with the viewers. So thank you as always. Hope to see you soon.
Right.
So that's Musa there, Brentford fan, who gave his thoughts on the Chelsea Liverpool game. That's a wrap up for today. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. The next show will be on Tuesday, as I'll be doing a match week 1 review, first episode of the season. So really looking forward to it. If there's any Liverpool related transfer news, I may do an impromptu show. So to make sure to follow me on socials, you got Ozzie FTP on Twitter, or you can follow me on Instagram at Ozzie.ftp, as well as Threads, and I'm also on TikTok now as well. So until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all very soon. Goodbye.